All right, there we go. Welcome to the Hip Hop Hustle podcast. We're back for another week. I've got a great artist, a great up and coming artist, the one, the only Real Warm Winter. I love that name, man, because everyone's like, man, I'm sick of the cold. Now it's getting warm, and you're providing some great songs. Most recently, you came out with Relief, a single, and you've had a few singles come out last year, man. But it's absolutely fantastic to have you on the show.
I appreciate it, man. I'm happy for to be here, man. I'm happy for you to have me.
Well, let me ask you about how it is making music. I think everyone is looking at the music industry. Everyone's looking at hip hop right now. Everyone's looking at what's happening. What's your take on what it's like to make music and step into the field, especially with what's going on and the evolution of what's happening?
I think the ecosystem of music, we're in a weird place right now. I think artists having to adapt to this short form, short attention span audience just for people to receive them is one of the biggest hurdles in music currently. Like, think about this shit. Do you think fucking Michael Jackson would have been doing fucking short form content? Fucking, you know what I'm saying? All the fucking greats, you know what I'm saying? Like Prince, fucking even rappers, Tupac, Jay-Z, back, you know what I'm saying? Back when they were coming up. You think they're fucking standing there in front of the camera trying to get you sick of fucking attention for 15 seconds just for you to fucking swipe next and it's over, you know? Like, wow, that's a weird ass hurdle that we've been facing in music. I've been talking about that a lot with my friends, like, because me personally as an artist, I want to create the things that I want to create, but I also have to understand that the environment and the arena that music is in is the short form way. So you have to be able to say a lot within a little second of time. You know what I mean?
Well, why do you then? Because here's my thought. Every artist that I ever speak to hates it. Every artist says, I'm sick of the short form content. I'm sick of I feel forced and I feel trapped with my own creativity. So why not just every artist just not do it and just do your own thing?
Would you be an artist because you can't adapt to the way that it is in this time? Like, just think about the saturation of podcasts. What would stop you from not doing a podcast just because there's millions of fucking podcasts? You're like, fuck it, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do this shit. Like, I think you wouldn't be a real artist if you said, well, just because something is hard or it makes me uncomfortable, then I'm not gonna do it anymore. Like, that's not even my thought process. Like, my thought process is, even if I don't make $1 from this shit, people are receiving it. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what it's about. Like, so, and then you never know. Like, the biggest currency is inspiration. And so many motherfuckers text me just saying, bro, you inspired me. That's what we're doing this shit for. Like, you know, we're a big web of consciousness, you know, so we're all getting shit from each other. So if I can help the next man by doing my journey, then I'm going to continue to do that, regardless if I got to fucking do short form content, if I got to put on a fucking clown suit and spin in circles, you know what I'm saying? I'm going to do whatever I got to do because this is what I want to do as far as art. You know, it's deeper than just, you know, financial or any of that bullshit.
Well, I think my question was not giving up the art, but not compromising on what you actually want to do. Because I agree with you. I mean, I run my own podcast and I do what I like. So, and if I felt that I had to do certain things and I felt like I had to, then I probably wouldn't do it because it's not as fun. And so part of me thinks that trends limit your art because you're like, and I don't know, maybe you're different, but I feel like every artist is like, I want to do something weird and crazy that makes no sense. And I want to explore my own creativity. And it has nothing to do with what's expected. It has nothing to do with short form content. It has everything to do with all I want to do is just explore and see what I create. And I think a lot of artists stop themselves from doing that inherently because they're told short form content or TikTok or YouTube Shorts or Instagram Reels. And so that's where I'm like,
I would counter with that, not to cut you off, I apologize, but I would counter with that is, okay, then I would ask that same artist that is hindered by that, what are you really in it for? Because what's stopping you from creating? There's nothing stopping you just because they're on, because people's attention span is short and we're in the TikTok era and all this bullshit. There's nothing stopping you from even creating just long content or just any content that you want to create. You know, you're limiting yourself with that perspective. Like, there's no limits when they shit. I feel like it's the most free we've ever been in a way, because of social media. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's even just like shit like this, like me talking to you. You're in a whole nother fucking country. That would have never happened if you never saw me on social media. So as far as that aspect of it, that's cool. I'm appreciating that, but are you really in it if you would say, well, this, like I said, this is out of my comfort zone, so I'm not going to do it. Are you really a creator? Like, you know, what are we doing? Are we really creating? Because if creating, you can create whatever you want. You know, you don't have to be limited by anything.
Look, I agree with you, man. I think that once you decide that you're willing to, as long as it's your decision, that's all that matters. Like, if you decide, hey, I'm just going to make music, I'm never going to post on like the social media sites, I'm just going to make music and I'm going to see what organic reach does, then you're more than welcome to. But I think the key is for artists to retain their creative integrity. And I think some people are doing things they wish they weren't doing, but they're doing it because they feel they have to be competitive. And it's like, that's an interesting space to me of like people feeling they have to. And I wonder where that feeling comes from. Is it just because they see other people doing it and so they have to do it, or they think it's the only way they're going to quote unquote blow up? And then it's a question of, well, do you want to blow up or do you want to retain creative integrity? And so these are all questions that I'm sure different musicians and different artists have in general on a regular basis.
I agree with you. I promise I do. But I just feel like, yeah, this is just what we're going to have to adapt to. Yeah, the most consistent wins. That's what it is. That's why they do it. That's the pressure. Like, if you look on social media, the motherfuckers who are going are the motherfuckers who are constantly posting in your face every day, doing the short form, and then they get hit with the algorithm. You know, that's just it. Like, now, I don't know how you would compromise your creative integrity though by, well, I don't know. Because I'm sitting here thinking, I don't think that compromises the creative integrity. I feel like it just adds another hurdle to jump over, to another aspect to be creative in. You understand what that's my perspective on it. Like, it's not because I would never compromise. I have never compromised shit. You know, like, as far as my music, you know, I've never compromised shit. Even though I don't, you know, like, I'm not really fond of the short form, I'm getting better with it. But yeah, I think it's just all about adapting to what music is now. But you don't have to not. I apologize. I lost my thought, man. I lost my thought, bro.
Wait, hold on. You don't have every thought completely planned out for the show?
No, fuck no. I'm freelancing, man. I'm freelancing. Now, you see, I'm over here thinking. I'm freelancing.
It is better that you're thinking, my friend. It is significantly better that you think as you talk, as opposed to you just like pre-written responses. That's the point of the show, is so if you lose your train of thought, so be it. That's kind of the deal.
Right. Yeah, yeah.
So there's no pressure. That's all I'm saying. There's no pressure. I lose my train of thought all the time. So, yeah, you're all good. But yeah, I think it's just like, you know, I think connecting the dots of you saying like short form content is king. Then all of a sudden people are like, oh, I got to make short form content. Then I look at my music and I'm like, how do I make it shorter instead of longer? And like, I don't know. I'm just, it feels weird. I don't make my own music. I literally just make podcasts and talk to people. So I'm like, cool, I get to talk. And as long as we're having a good conversation, that's all that matters. But I think it is interesting when artists are like, I know a 5-minute song is not going to get traction because my audience doesn't have the attention span. So then all of a sudden I'm like, but I have a 5-minute song and my creativity led me there, but I don't think it'll work. So I have to cut it. And those are the weird mental mind tricks that I'm like, I think you just, if you like it at 5 minutes, release it at 5 minutes. Like,
Yeah. I don't think you should not put something out. Because right now, especially up and coming artists, and for myself as well, we're trying to cultivate an audience. There is an audience that will listen to your song for 5 minutes and listen to it over and over and over again for 5 minutes. You just have to figure that out. Now, and that will be, you don't have to make your song shorter. It's just how you release it and how you market it is what's going to be if it catches, you know. That's how I feel. I mean,
yeah.
Because like my audience is pretty diverse. My audience, I don't really have a lot of long songs, but people tell me shit, they listen to it. And the numbers are saying it, like, yeah, they listening, like, you know, and they listen to it over and over again. So if you can cultivate an audience that will just want to hear you, that's what you should focus on. And I'm just speaking towards, like, you know, just artists that are, you feel struggling like that. Like, don't hear me and hear that I'm saying, oh, well, short form is the only way. No, there's not only one way. It's just the way right now. And it's going to be another way after that. You know what I'm saying? There's going to be another way. It's going to be like, it's just errors of this shit. So, yeah.
Are you surprised by the diversity of your audience?
No, I knew that I did that on purpose. I knew I was going to be international first because in America, hip hop's in a bad state right now. Hip hop's in a bad state. We're in a catchy state, but it's people that still appreciate the music. I got a good American following as well, but it's just cultivating that audience. But yeah, definitely I knew that was my goal. I want to be international. And so I was like, you know what? And then people internationally receive the music and they're really like, you know, engaging and they're texting me, sending me voice messages, and that's what I want, you know what I'm saying? Because I want them to feel like they can really be inspired by what's going on because I'm making it to inspire.
How did you do that on purpose?
How did I study in the game? I am a student of the game. Like, that's why from the beginning of the conversation, I said the short form content. And that shit, because I really just had that revelation just about a year ago. Like, okay, who's winning? That's what I do. Anything. I look at it like, okay, what are the best doing? And so what I realized as far as the audience, I said, what are the best doing? The best are not just in your city. People know me in my city. Fuck that. They're everywhere. They're making the best. I'm not talking about the fucking people who just want to be there. Like the best. So I was like, okay, what makes me different from any other fucking human? Nothing. So like, and I feel like I believe in myself, you know what I'm saying? So I said, all right, shit, I'm gonna take a chance. And then I did. And now that's like, I think the UK is like my #1 audience. And even before America, I think #2 is America. But you know, Italy, Serbia, just all these different countries just show love. And it's show fucking love. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna fuck with the people who fuck with me. Like, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna fuck with people who fuck with me. Cause like, you know, when I started off, like every up and coming artist, you're trying to figure out shit. You might have one post that does good. You might have one post that does this. But what I took from it, I looked at the analytics and I was like, oh shit, like these people are from the UK and they're telling me like, bro, you're fucking golden. Like they're telling me, you know, I'm like, okay. So I'm gonna promote to y'all then. Since y'all like it, all right, I'm gonna promote to y'all. This is before I'm even running any fucking ads or anything. Like, oh, you know, I'm gonna just promote to y'all. And that shit started running. Like, that shit started running. I started off at zero, bro. Like, I literally started off at zero. And that shit went from like, oh, I got 100 followers in the day. Oh, I got 1,000 followers in the day. Like, oh my God, like this shit started. Like, for real. So yeah. I always knew that was the way. I always knew that I was the way.
Does that make you want to go to Europe and do a European tour?
Yeah, that's the plan. That's the plan. Because like I said, I want to be international. I'm gonna be international. I'm already international. But the way my mind works, I kind of undermine like myself because I'm so focused on going to that next step. Like, of course, I'm past my contemporaries, but that doesn't satisfy me. Like, I want to be, you know what I'm saying? Like, I want to be there. Like, you know how everybody rapping and shit right now, Drake, Kendrick, everybody beefing and shit. Like, I want motherfuckers to be like, yeah, Real Warner, y'all got to put him in there too. You know what I'm saying? But I know that shit comes with work, so like, yeah.
Yeah. How do you feel about the beefing at the moment? Like, what is that like looking like? Because you're in it, and you I think it's different when you make your own music, when you're like rising and you're seeing like essentially every well-known artist throw their hat in the ring. But what is that like? What are your thoughts around that?
The way I feel about the Drake and Kendrick and J. Cole and all that shit, I'm gonna just give you a whole overview of how I feel about all of it. I feel like this is hip hop. So it's nothing wrong with trying to be the best at this competitive sport that we call hip hop. Because this is the only genre of music I feel like we are competing to see who the best is. I don't feel like there's any other genre of music that does that. I feel like every other genre of music is inviting and let's be collaborative and, let's do this and that. And hip hop, it's motherfucker, I'm better than you. Even if we have a song together, like I'm trying to outdo you. So I don't think J. Cole should apologize. I don't know J. Cole, but I don't think you shouldn't apologize, bro. It wasn't even because who gives a fuck? Like, it's hip hop. You know what I'm saying? Nobody's gonna die. Nobody's gonna get fucking beat up. Like, I love this shit. I love that the people that are saying that they're the best at this shit, have the catalogs for this shit, are going at it to show the fans who's the best. I love it. I fucking love it. And I tell like people in my city, I'm from Atlanta. I tell motherfuckers, that's me. Because I'm coming with the fucking bars. Like, what? I'm coming with the bars. I'm a rapper. So I'm going to show you that my lyricism is better than your lyricism. It's nothing fucking, no harm, no foul, nothing personal. I don't want to hurt anybody. It's just music. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I love this shit. I fucking love it. How do you feel about it?
Well, it's weird because I think it's the most entertaining and exciting thing that has happened in hip hop for a while. I think it's been like this weird space of like, I don't know, it's fine. Like it's fine. That's been my view on like 2024. Like it's all fine. I'm not eagerly excited. I'm not underwhelmed. I'm just like, it's all fine. But it's weird because I spoke to Saigon recently, and his view made me look at it a little bit differently. So I was like, this is exciting. This is awesome. And he was like, but a lot of people, like, they're kind of old to be doing this. Like, it's a little bit immature. Yeah, like in the sense of like, so it's funny because I definitely get it's like, I see both sides where it's like you're promoting people to like, okay, yes, it's songs, but I think there's something corny about people getting on Instagram lives. I hate that so much. Like, I think it's the corniest shit. Like, drop a song. If you want to do a diss track, do a diss track is my view. But there's also the counter view, which is like, hey, like we should actually be promoting a community as opposed to like me versus you. And why can't there be a hip hop community as opposed to like I have to be better than you, and that means I have to get one over the top of you, and I have to like fight you. And the problem is in hip hop, which is true, people do die. Like rappers have died.
Okay. All right. So No, I don't think anybody has died from hip hop. People die from street shit. That's the difference. Street shit and hip hop are two separate things. Now, sometimes people get intertwined the two and start saying, I'm smoking on your people, or fuck you and fuck your people, I'm gonna kill you. And that's when violence ensues. This shit with J. Cole, there is a hip hop community because they go on tour together. J. Cole, Drake, Kendrick, they all brought each other out and shit. Like, there is a hip hop community. But when it's time for shit like this, it's time for shit like this. I don't feel like it's immature that the best rappers are rapping against each other. Yes, they are 40 and Rick Ross 50. Like, but motherfucker, they've been in the game decades. Yeah. You only get older. Like, of course you only get older. But this shit has nothing to do with I'm more mature than you because I am apologizing for some shit. Like, this shit is hip hop, dude. This shit has nothing. And once you start trying to insert like, well, I might have actually did hurt your feelings by saying this and all that shit, it takes it all the way. It takes all the juice out of it because, yes, people have died in street beef, but no one is dying from hip hop. No one's dying from hip hop. But you see, it's hard for the fans to decipher what's real and fake as well because they amplify it and make it seem like, oh my God, like this shit is just so fucking, this is so fucking crazy. Just because their view on the world is limited. Like I said, from a person from that background, there is a complete difference between hip hop and street violence. So yeah, I disagree as far as on that end.
Well, I agree that there is difference, but there is also, as you said, it can be intertwined. And I think the challenge is not necessarily for your Drakes, your Kendricks, for those people to get lost in it, but for the level of people underneath to get lost, to be like, well, if I see my heroes go out and beef with each other, I'm going to go beef with some other people, but because it's not on the same professional level, because they're not friends, that's when it starts to become more precarious in terms of understanding, well, you may say something to the wrong person, or you may make a song about the wrong person who has the wrong friends, so on and so forth. So I think it's like, I think there is that part of like, I'll be careful the example you set for the youth of today. And if you're promoting me versus you in the sense of like lyrical warfare, I get it. I'm a fan of those songs. There are so many diss tracks where I'm like, this is the best shit ever and it's amazing. So like, but I think that's the counter argument. When I spoke to Saigon, he was like, the example that you set is important and the legacy that you leave is important. And okay, everyone remembers an exciting diss track, but do you want that to be the thing? Or like that's what it is. It's like, choose what's important to you. Like, do you want people to keep fighting or do you want to bring them together? Like, and I think at the moment, everyone's going to be like, oh, I'm going to fight. I see my favorite rappers fight, so I'm going to fight.
I think these ideas can coexist at once. I think there can be peace and harmony and camaraderie and community while it also being friendly, competitive competition. And I think that's what it is. Like, because who says that we can't be friendly, but also be competing? You know, like, when did that disappear?
Well, the question would be, the question would be, when did it become friendly? Because there are lots of hip hop beefs that were actual beefs, like legit beefs that when they saw each other in the streets, they would avoid each other.
Because that was about bullshit. That's what I'm saying. Like, it had nothing to do with the music. in my eyes at least, you know. Every story you hear, it was women, some form of disrespect, money, bullshit, never was the music. You know what I'm saying? Like no violence has been shown from the music. Now, yeah, they get on the song and start disrespecting you and talking about real shit that's happened, but I'm talking about like, you know, this beef. And I'm not talking about like the actual beefs where they're killing and all that shit, because that's completely different. Like this with Drake and J. Cole and Kendrick, we know nobody's going to die. Who's going to die from this? Drake? The person that fucking rides around with 50 black trucks and 100 dudes, or you know what I'm saying? All these fucking 100 millionaires, 200 millionaires, like, how are you going to, nobody's going to die. This is some, and yes, you have to be careful about the example you said, but we also have to teach a generation of motherfuckers how to have discernment. It's not follow the leader. Just because, Drake dissed Kendrick doesn't mean you can go diss Daquan down the street and say fucking I killed your fucking brother. That's two different things. You know what I'm saying? Like that's two different things. Yeah, that's how I feel about it.
Well, I agree with you. They're obviously two different things. And as adults and grown-ups and people who have gone through a bit of life, we can see the difference. And so that's the thing of like, yeah, I don't know. It's weird. It's weird. I think, like I said, it's probably the most exciting thing that's happened in hip hop. If hip hop was more exciting, then we'd probably look at this and be like, oh, that's fine. Like they're going after each other. It's kind of entertaining, but I think it's like, it's filling a hole that we didn't know we had, which is we haven't felt like there is anything that's like propelling the culture forward that much. And I think that's where it comes from. And maybe that's just my own perspective, and maybe that's my perspective speaking to a lot of people.
I'll ask you a question. Do you think if we left the competition and embraced completely all community, not more community, just completely fell into just a whole hip-hop community, do you think that would push hip-hop further than what hip-hop is already is?
I don't know. That's the truth. I genuinely don't know.
Yeah. I don't think so. I don't think, because I think I think the only thing that's happening in the world is what you're paying attention to. That's what I realized about, because there's fucking 8 billion fucking people in the world. So yes, we are focusing on, and there are going to be some bad apples that focus on the negativity. But if you look at hip hop as a whole and see the negative as far as dissing and embrace the negative side without actually indulging in all the positivity, because even these artists that we're talking about, they don't spew negativity. They just spew their story. Like Kendrick, Kendrick's last album was all about, hey man, go get some fucking help if you fucked up, you know, or J. Cole, like, or even Drake. Drake's talking about fucking bitches and shit. He's not goddamn talking about killing anybody, you know what I'm saying? So if you're looking at it from that lens, you're going to see the negative. But like I said, whatever you're paying attention to is the only thing that's happening in the world. So, yeah.
Yeah. Hey, look, I like it. It gives us all something to talk about. Like, yeah, regardless of how you feel about it, I like that there's something to talk about. I like that there's like, hey, did you see this track drop? Like, I don't know. That's the thing that's good for it is like, I haven't seen people that excited for a long time. Like everyone on the internet is like, oh shit, did you see this diss track leaked? And like, when was the last time we were, leaked. Yeah. But it was like, when was the last time we had like that sort of like people clamoring to be like, I can't wait to see what happens next. Yeah. And that's what's good for it is like, people are like, hell yeah, I'm excited. I'm like, I can't wait to see. And then when Rick Ross came out and everyone was like, holy shit, Rick Ross responded in like 3 hours. What the fuck? And he came out with a song. It was
that was weird too. That's just, I want to talk about that. That's weird too, because like when I seen that diss track, and I'm just speaking from just my perspective, but I didn't know why Rick Ross had dropped the diss track. I thought we were fucking talking about Kendrick, and it was J. Cole until he went and apologized. But then now it's Kendrick and Drake. So Rick Ross coming and pivoting and just say, hey man, you know what? Fuck Drake too. It's just pretty crazy.
I think, didn't Drake mention Rick Ross? I think Drake did mention Rick Ross in his.
You talking about the one that leaked?
Yeah.
This is towards Ross. I might have missed them, but.
Because I think he did, and maybe, I'm pretty sure he did. Like, I think he did, and that's why Rick Ross came after him. But like 3 hours? Like, man, number one, how do you come? I don't know. Maybe for me, I'm like, do you have your ear so pressed to the ground that or are you starting to prepare? Are you like, I know Drake, I feel like he might have a go at me. And so you start preparing.
You start preparing. As far as me, like, I think even just little lines and shit, like, cause like in a way, I want that lyrical competition with motherfuckers in Atlanta. Like, it's certain motherfuckers, I'm not gonna say no names out here, but I don't dislike them, but it just puts fire in me when I hear them rapping and they're going fucking crazy. Like, so I just started, preparing just a little shit too, just in case, because motherfuckers always saying little slick shit like, I'm the best, or, y'all, all your favorite rappers, or every new rapper suck and all this shit. So yeah, you start writing. Like, I think Rick Ross had that shit in the ball. I think Rick Ross had that shit already pre-recorded, because he was talking about French Montana and all types of shit on it. He thought he had that shit pre-recorded already. Like, yeah, bro, I've been waiting to leave. Yeah, I think you just write it, man.
Why would you not mention people that you want to, like, would you, okay, let me ask you a different question. I've deviated. Would you fire the first shot, so to speak? Would you, no, why?
Because I don't actually have any beef with these people or even any like reason to do that. I just think as a competitor in just anything, like, because I love basketball, so I'm going to compare to basketball. Kobe wanted to kill you. It didn't matter how cool you were or any of that shit. He didn't even dislike you off of the court. But I'm studying you. Like I said, I'm a student of the game. I'm studying you. I'm trying to see, can you write songs? Like, yeah, you can freestyle, but can you write songs? How often do you change your rhyme schemes? Like, shit like that. Like, so, no, I would never just directly shoot at someone. But I've been thinking about it. But you see, then if I do that, you look crazy, because it's like, dude, why did you just diss me? It's like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we're up and coming. Like, why did you just diss me, bro? Like, I don't think I'm gonna do it like that.
Because it's friendly competition.
We would have to be, I don't know. No, we would have to be at that level. Like, once, like I said about the Drake and Kendrick shot, that shit is cool because they already have the discographies, they have the fan bases, they went on the world tours, they had the fucking big ass deals, they've done everything you can do in music, won Grammys. So now it's like, okay, let's see who's better out of the cream of the crop. As far as us, up and coming artists, or as far as just me, I'm not gonna send the shots or say names about the people that are motivating me silently, because it's motivation. They're inspiring me. Like I was saying at the beginning, like they're inspiring me. Like, yeah, I say it, it grinds my gears to see this shit, but it's no real malice. And it's just like, I got this shit for you just in case. Because I'm hearing this shit, like I'm hearing it, like, so I got it just in case, That's it.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you think everyone is like that? Do you think everyone is prepared?
I think some people don't think about it. I think it's all about what drives you and what you want to do in music or just entertainment. Because I can't just say in just music. In entertainment, what do you want to be? Do you see yourself just being a feature? Do you see yourself just selling out 100 and 200 people? Or Do you see yourself just being a dude that gets 30K monthly listeners and you're good because you got a couple $100 coming to your distro? Like, it's all about what you want. Like, I want to be the fucking GOAT. Like, I want to be the best. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I'm going to continue to put in the work to be the best because I want to be the best. Like I've said it, I want to be the best in everything I do. Now, everybody's not motivated like that. Everybody doesn't want to be the best. Some people just want to be there, you know? So I don't think everybody's like, yeah, I'm waiting on him, or like, yeah, I got something ready for him. Oh, because some people literally just want to get by, or some people really just want to create and don't care about even any of it, I don't care about any of it. Any of the accolades that the shit comes with it.
Well, I think some of the best rappers of all time never cared about the accolades.
Right.
There is something cool that they have the power to separate themselves, like the ego in a way, from like the accolades, but then the creativity. Their ego is tied to how can I just make the best creative piece of work that I can make, and am I happy and proud?
I think that comes after you've already succeeded. I don't think that's at the beginning, because every rapper that I've ever heard on the come up is like, motherfucker, I'm coming. And all the people that are tops, like the top people even now, like the people that continue to persevere, like Kendrick, Drake, even we can go back. These are the new people. But even like fucking, a lot of people say Jay-Z. You see, I'm from Atlanta, so we didn't really listen to Jay-Z, but you have to put him up there because he's up there. You know what I'm saying? Or like the Tupacs, Biggie. These motherfuckers wanted to be the best. You know what I'm saying? Like, Biggie used to rap on the fucking street corner against people. That means I'm a competitor. You know what I'm saying? Like, now, yeah, eventually, after you have succeeded, it's like, yeah, man, I'm chilling now because I'm already in my ring. I got my audience. Like, I don't have to be as hungry. But yeah, I think the best want to be the best. Like, you can separate it eventually, but starting off, if you don't want to be the best, then what's gonna drive you? In my eyes, at least, because like that's what I use as motivation and drive. Like, what are you doing this for? Like, what are you doing this for? You got to really ask yourself that as an artist. What are you doing this for? Are you doing this shit for some bitches? Are you doing this shit for money? Are you doing this shit for drugs? Some people do it for drugs. Are you doing this shit, what I'm saying, for access? Are you doing this shit? Like, what are you doing this shit for? Like, what drives you? And I feel like, yeah, that's what drives me, at least. Like, and I know that it's going to be a long journey. It's a brick by brick situation. It's a very long journey trying to be the best, because you see that the people that are the best right now, it didn't come from a year, 2 years, 5 years. Like, this shit is a decade plus, 15 plus. Like, I remember listening to Drake. I was a little fucking kid, like, and now I'm an adult. Like, that's how long you have to be in this shit, like, to be the best, bro. And I feel like, the best right now, in my eyes, is Drake. Like, and I feel like he has that too. Like, I feel like he wants to be the best because he constantly says it. Like, I want to be the best, bro. I do this shit. Like, come on. I do this shit. Like, yeah.
How do you define best?
It's subjective. You can't. That's the funny part about it. Because to my audience, I'm the best. Or into the next audience, you're the best. Who cares about what the cannibals in the middle think? Because they're not even consuming anything. They're consuming what's ever given to them, So you can't really define it. That's the joke. But you can use that as drive, Like, it's not, you're not going to get a fucking plaque that says, oh yeah, you are the #1 artist. Like, no, like, you're not going to get that, but, it's just striving to be better,
Well, maybe that's why artists claim they're the best, because it's easier to say I'm the best and to believe and to tell yourself that you're the best than it is to accept that you're not the best and you have a lot more work to do.
Right. Because in a way, you will never be the best, because I feel like 10, 20 years from now, there's going to be a whole nother motherfucker. And then, because it's no way to evade it. And they're going to take this sauce from all of us, all the new artists, and they're going to mold that shit into some new shit. And then even decades from then, it's going to be somebody new that took all the sauce from our generation, the 2010s, the 2000s, the 90s, 80s. They're going to take all that and mold it into some more other shit. So it's going to constantly be someone better. If you're speaking from that, it's like, it is always someone better. There's always somebody better. There's probably somebody better at rapping than Drake, and we don't even know him. Just somebody who's just a great ass rapper. You know what I'm saying? Like a dude that just never went. But
I'm sure there are hundreds of rappers like that who are better rappers. I mean, I personally don't think Drake's the best rapper. Personally, if you have ghostwriters, I've always thought like, hey, you got to write your own shit. Like that. So like an argument can be made he's the greatest musician because of the songs he makes, but I've always found it difficult to be like, you're the greatest rapper, but you had half your songs were written by other people. Some of these verses were written by other people. This was written. And I'm like, they don't go hand in hand to me. To me, to be the best rapper, you write your own verses, because you're not saying you're the best musician. You're saying you're the best rapper. Rapper means write your own shit, spit your own bars, not have someone else write them.
Yeah, that hurt my feelings. Hearing that Drake had a ghostwriter in my life. But you see, I feel like even if you have writers, it depends on what they're writing. Because like, did you hear the reference track they just released with Drake and Yachty and everything?
No.
Okay, so they just released a reference track of Yachty basically having a song that Drake did basically bar for bar on one of his albums. And that's crazy. That's crazy. Like, as far as hip hop, that's crazy. But I feel like Drake's pen, he can still write raps, but it's different when you start saying, okay, well, I need to make a song. Like, I feel like Drake can rap for 20 fucking years straight. You know what I'm saying? Like, literally just keep going. But yeah, you might need help writing a song. I've never needed help writing a song, but I've been in the studio and stuff with artists that might get some inspiration or might get a few lines from another artist, and then they end up making some whole other shit, So yeah,
That's not what they're saying about Drake, though. They're not saying that he had he got a couple lines. They're saying that he had ghostwriters. Right. I mean, what you're doing, I get what you're doing. It makes sense. Yeah, like I get it, but that's not what they're saying.
I can't hate on it, bro, because the reason why I can't hate on it is because of how far he is in comparison to where I'm at. Like, I'm striving for that right now. Like, I'm on my fucking come up, bro. So I can't say, dude, because I don't know the real story. Like, we're just fans. Like, I don't know the real story. Like, I can't say all those years, 07, 08, 09, 2010, like, you weren't writing your own shit. Now, when you were a decade in and now you have reference tracks and shit, that is a little fucked up. But it is. But I can understand. Like, I can understand why. Because shit, man, you run out of shit to talk about. Like, as a fucking artist, like, you really do. Like, it's all about how much you're experiencing. But once you've experienced it all, what else is there for me to talk about? I'm going to have to keep talking about the same thing. So, yeah, for a song, I might have someone else write it. I'm not speaking for myself. I'm speaking for, like, his Drake. But, yeah, I might have someone else write it, and who gives a fuck? Because they're not going to receive it if even I released it because of how far I am lower than you. If he releases it, first of all, he's at us. That's the reason why I give him the greatest right now. And it's not, I guess we can take out the rapper. The reason why I say he's the greatest right now. And this is coming from somebody that really doesn't even listen to Drake all the time. I'm not a Drake listener. I don't really listen to hip hop a lot, but I've been listening to a lot of Billy Joel lately. But see,
Shout out Billy Joel randomly.
shout fucking out Billy Joel, bro. Yeah, it's about if I release this shit, and some people can say whatever. And I know it comes from a lot of popularity and influence, but if I release something and the whole world eating it up, like every time I release something, you got something. Like you got something. People can say whatever. They can say, oh, it's because this and that, or you got a cosign from this, but it's only you. You know what I'm saying? Like if you have that much influence and you're putting that shit out like that, you had to cultivate that somehow. So I admire that. I would never try to undermine that just by someone saying that he has writers, because dude, I know he didn't start off with writers, bro. None of us do. Because we're starting off fucking dead, fucking broke. So it ain't no fucking money to give anybody else. Like, I'm starting this shit off from me. Just listen, I grew up on that, those mixtapes and all that shit Drake was dropping. So I don't think that he can't write. But if someone's offering, and I'm the biggest artist in the world, hey man, here, take this little songs I got. And yeah, I think you have the luxury to do that, because even the greatest people that like fucking, what's his fucking name? Damn, my lead just literally stuck in my mind. What is his name? Kanye West.
Oh yeah,
literally Kanye West. Like, he has a million fucking writers, but he's undeniable with the product that he's putting out. So yeah, if we're talking about hip hop competition, yeah, I guess we can't give him the best rapper, but I don't know. I think he's at the top of the top right now, bro. Like, it's just far as, because it's just different, bro. Like, it's just different because a lot of people have influence. It's a lot of people that have more, I can even argue, have more influence than Drake. Like, are more well-known than Drake. And they can't just release anything. You know what I'm saying? Like, they can't just release a song and that shit just goes, and it's all picked up on the television. Now it's on every fucking commercial. It's on every radio station. Like, it's something to say about that, bro. Even though he had writers, but I think that's something, like, some shit that we've never seen. Like, even growing up with Wayne, like, they remember when Wayne was like the fucking top of the top? It wasn't even him. And that's the protege of Wayne. That's the Wayne's protege. And like, even Wayne wasn't doing that. I have never seen any rapper do stuff like the way Drake does it. Like, Drake really drops it. Not to just sit here and fucking ride Drake. I'm just admiring it.
Well, I think those are all important parts to consider. And I agree that Drake has gotten to a level that most people thought an artist in this genre was not capable of doing. Really? He definitely has something. And, I think that if you were to talk about, is he the best artist that hip hop has produced? I think that's a different conversation to, is he the best rapper that hip hop has produced? I think they're slightly different categories, but there is undeniable his influence. I mean, that's just life. I mean, lots of artists never wrote their own stuff. Dr. Dre never wrote his own lyrics, and he's been very open about that, but his influence on hip hop has been undeniable. So I think there is a difference. I actually don't care if you don't write your own lyrics. Just be honest about it. What I hate, and this annoys me, is because, like, they'll pretend that they wrote it, and then it comes out later that they didn't write it, and the writer doesn't get credit in the credits. And I'm like, it's just to me, and I know what they're doing. They're protecting a brand. It's a business.
Yeah,
I
I was just about
totally
to say
get
that.
it. I
Literally, I was just
totally
about
get
to
it.
say
I'm
that.
living in my real world. Like, I love honesty and I love truth telling, but like when it comes out, you can't be surprised when people like it's annoying. It's sad. Like if the truth came out about all my favorite hip hop artists, I'd be like, oh, that sucks, man. Like I had this different vision of them, and I think that's part of growing up. But like,
Right.
I don't know. I think there is a part of me that's just like, I don't want to know.
Right.
But then if you tell me up front, then I know, and I'm like, okay, I'll just look at this differently, and I'll appreciate the honesty.
Yeah. I feel the same.
Let me ask you, because you're making your way through it, and you're, seeing the heights that people can reach. What do you see for yourself? Like, I know you want to be the best. I know you want to go tour, but like when you lay down at night and when you think about what your career could look like, have you got a vision that comes to mind?
Honestly, no, because I don't want to fall into what I think, you know, like I don't, because if I wouldn't be where I'm at if I, fell into what I think, like, because I'm just a perfectionist at heart, so I, I, no, I don't know. I don't know where I'm going to be, but I know that every day, brick by brick, that's what I fucking think about every day. Like, okay, yes, I'm not at the fucking complete pinnacle of this shit. I'm not touring yet. I'm not making the thousands and thousands of dollars yet, but I'm making progress. And I know if I keep making progress, then something's gonna fuck. You know what I'm saying? Like something's gonna go. And that's just what I see from everybody. Just as long as you never give up, it's always gonna be a lane for you. It's always gonna be a lane for you. It's always gonna be an audience. And yeah, that's what I don't know where I see myself, man, because I don't know what tomorrow lies for me. Like I'm taking this shit day by day, trying to stay as present as possible. Cause literally, once you start thinking, overcomplicating things, then I might not achieve, once I start saying, well, cause like, yes, of course I'm gonna be the best, but I want to be the best version of me as well. Like, that's the number one thing. I'm not in competition with anybody else. I'm not trying to, you know what I'm saying? I'm not in competition with anybody else. I'm in competition with me. How can I make me better? So yeah, just to answer that question, not to give you a long answer like I've already done, but I don't know. Like I don't see it. I don't try to look that far because in a way it scares me. Like I don't want to know right now. I want to be on the grind right now. Like, because I am. I am on the grind. And once I start receiving the fruits of my labor, then we can say, okay, all right, what's the next step? What's the next mountain to climb? But right now, I'm trying to establish my roots in this ocean of creatives, like ocean. And I'm trying to really establish roots. So right now, yeah, that's what I see for myself right now. I'm establishing roots, building that audience, and trying to stay true to me.
Why does it scare you?
Because as humans, we fear what we don't know and don't understand. I don't know what is going to happen once I do end up wanting to do everything that I've ever done. Like, of course, it excites me now because I don't have these things, but I know it's not going to satisfy me. So it's no reason for me to even ask, like, oh, what's going to be after this? Like, I know that all the bullshit isn't going to satisfy me. So I'm not rushing to that because I know it comes with a lot. Like, I know it comes with a lot. And a lot of people, would die to be in these situations. But I don't, I'm not striving for it like that because I just don't, that's not what drives, like, that's not what drives me, but who knows? Like, yeah, so like I said, we fear what we don't know. And I don't know what's going to be because I'm scared of all the stories I hear, like the stories of success. People talk about how they lose their friends, their family, and because they're chasing their dreams, they're doing the right thing, but it's all the shit around you changes. And I think that's what I fear the most because I kind of see it already. And shit, I'm just starting. Like, I'm just starting. Like, I've been doing it for about 2, 3 years, but that's just starting. You know what I mean? Like, that's just starting. It takes about 5 years to establish yourself, So, yeah, I just, that scares me. Like, people thinking you have shit or, shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, or people using you for whatever, like, yeah, that scares me because I can already see that I'm gonna have to deal with that big time.
That is scary because people are showing their true colors.
Yeah.
That's like, the thing that everyone deals with in becoming successful is all of a
Let
sudden.
me give you a little grace. One second. I'm sorry to cut you off. Let me give them a little grace though. I feel like everybody wants to win. So I'm not gonna say they're showing their true colors. I feel like when you start succeeding, they see you as an opportunity, for them, because we're all looking out for the betterment of ourselves in some form or fashion, So I'm not gonna say that they're inherently a bad person or they're showing their true colors, but if there's one piece of steak in the center of the fucking room and we're all hungry, we're gonna do some dirty shit to get to that steak because we're fucking hungry, dude. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I have compassion for the hungry.
See, you're nicer.
You
You're
know, I,
nicer than I am because I do think
right.
that means that they're bad people. Because if you're willing to destroy our relationship and you're willing to fuck me over, and I've been there the whole time,
Right.
yes, it's on me to see if I can look after you and make sure that I can bring you with me. But if you change and you start behaving differently just because I'm not a different person, I just was successful, that's on you. And what you showed me is what you valued. You never
Right.
valued me, you valued what I gave to you. And I don't
Right.
want those people around me. So, like,
Right.
I don't think they're good people. Those people are the ones who reveal what's truly important to them because they are willing to snake you and take from you and stab you in the back, even though you've known them for your whole life. And that's the crazy thing is people that you thought you could trust, people that you thought were ride or die, they're not at all. They now see you as an opportunity. And that shift is a frightening one. And it also is frightening as to like, what does that mean for the choices you have to make? Like, do you keep them around or do you accept the bullshit or do you decide no longer? And so I think those are all reasonable things to to think. But I also think holding people to a standard is important because you do, and everyone does deserve people who are there because they love you, not because they want something from you. That's not a relationship. That's a transaction.
Right. For sure. For sure. I don't know. Like, I feel like as humans, it's something wired into us called social Darwinism, and that is survival of the fittest. And I don't think you can start putting in all those factors, like I said, for the hungry, because people that are hungry, like even the motherfuckers who rob and steal, would they be doing that if they were in a different situation? I don't think so. Not all the time. Like, I don't think so. Like, yeah, yeah, that's fucked up to fuck a person over. Like, you know yourself or me, and I've been there for a person, you've been there for someone, but like, you know, like I said, I have compassion for that because I know, like I know that seeing someone's plate full and you're hungry, even if you're held back by your own excuses and all the other shit, it still will make you feel some type of way because it's just like everybody, I don't think they hate us or anyone. I think they just want to be the best version of themselves. And when they see somebody else doing that, it's like, I want that, you know? I want that. And that's why I give them grace because it's like, that's human nature. In my eyes, like that's just human nature. Like,
But that's how
I'm
you
not
make
like,
sure you never get fed again. When you
right,
come and steal off the plate, and when you come,
right.
and that's how you make sure you never get fed. That's
Well,
how
you
you make.
definitely shouldn't be put on any plate.
But that's what I mean is like because and obviously we're talking in hypotheticals and obviously we're talking in like but I don't know, I'm a big believer in morality and I'm a big believer in like there is everyone has to have some morality at some point. I get it. When it's do or die, you will do whatever you can to survive. I don't think that's the case in a lot of these scenarios. I think the case is like we're at the same level and then someone rises up and then all of a sudden all the insecurities that you had they become manifest because you saw your best friend become everything that you could have been but you didn't become, and there's jealousy and there's insecurity, and I think those are all elements that we're aware of, and I think those are the human elements that were like that shit is just toxic, and it sucks to see, and it sucks to realize that the people you thought were there for you changed. And maybe you changed too. And honestly, the success and adoration and wealth, that does change people as well. So maybe there is like a hand in hand, but I think that is a genuine thing that people worry about.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
Hopefully that's something you don't have to worry about, my friend.
Uh, I'm gonna have to work. I understand that I'm gonna have to worry about it because it's just like I said, I feel like it's human nature, man. Like, yeah, there are people that do extra, and those are the people that you just completely cut off. But like, as far as people seeing you, because yeah, you do start off at the same level, and because we all have the same opportunities in theory. You know, you can make the best out of your cards that you were dealt. Like, you know, that's very possible. Um, but I know I'm gonna have to deal with it because shit, it just the people that like just family and friends, like if somebody achieves, that means somebody didn't achieve. There's not a story where we all the best. There's not a story where we all went. You know, it's just not. This is not. It's just not. It's just not. It's just not. It's not a story where somebody didn't underachieve. And you know, in my mind, I can't be upset with you because I might be everything you wanted for yourself, even though we had the same opportunities. But I just understand, like, yeah, you're gonna still want that. Like when you're by yourself, yeah, you can smile and be at the parties and shit, but you're gonna be like, man, I could have done that. And I don't think that makes it wrong, you know. It just makes people realize what they could have done, you know.
Agreed.
Right.
Well, man, I'm excited to see what you will continue to do because you've got some great potential. You've already released some great tracks. As I said, you came out with the single Relief most recently, but you've had Such a Waste, Oh Lord, My Lane, and the song that I first listened to yours was A Reminder, and I was like, damn, this beat is so good.
That's the one a lot of people listen to. And you know, it's a funny story about Reminder. It was like I was talking to you earlier about those people that I'm not gonna name. But I was around those people I'm not gonna name. And we were all in like this big fucking thing. And we were all performing. And this one dude went up there and was just fucking rap. I'm talking about everybody was, oh shit, motherfucker was balling out. And I went up there and did my Just Vibe song. It's like an R&B song. And it was good bars and everything. It's all good. But I was like, I need to remind people that I got this shit. You know, like I can do this shit. I can really rap with the best of them. Like I really feel like that. Like as far as rapping, I feel like right now, my discography isn't as big as I want it to be. And I think that's just me being an artist, you know, like me wanting to have more out. But you know, I'm still living a regular life right now. So I'm still trying to balance that and, you know, being able to put out the best quality I can put out. But at that moment in time, I was like, yeah, I need to remind these motherfuckers who I am. And actually, you know what's crazy? I posted on that shit. I said, 30 comments and I dropped. And that shit ended up getting like 900 fucking comments, 17K likes. Like that shit went. So it was like, you know, I was like, yeah, man, that was good. You know, I like that. So yeah, that's probably the first song you heard of me. Yeah. A lot of people said that. Yeah, because that shit went. Still going. People still fucking with it.
Well, I can't wait to see the new songs. And before we wrap up, I only have one more question for you, man. It's the only question that I plan on the show. It's probably the hardest question that I ask. But if you had to recommend one album that everybody should listen to at least once to get an appreciation of, can be any genre of music, cannot be your own music. It's just to appreciate, to listen to at least once. What would it be?
If you want to hear a beautiful body of work, because I'm not gonna put you too far back, because I know everybody doesn't. This is a hip hop podcast. Let's keep this shit hip hop.
Honestly, you can say whatever you like. I've had the most left field answers ever. So honestly, if you have a non-hip hop answer, go with non-hip hop. Like feel zero pressure to go with hip hop.
And I answer two. And I say two.
I'll let you give me two, but I'm going to ask for like, which one would you, if I had to choose, like if you're telling me which one would I have to go for? Okay, you can take me through your thought process.
Okay. Like I said, I don't really listen to a lot of hip hop. So, but I'm going to keep this one hip hop just because I just want to. The best fucking hip hop album I've ever heard in my fucking life, up and down, is Kendrick Lamar, Damn. Up and down. It's literally unskippable. And it's so beautiful that Kendrick made it to where his deluxe album was the songs in reverse. That shows you how good some shit is for real. If it's cohesive enough to play it backwards and you still receive like the message and everything from it, and it's all like fitting together, the best album you ever hear in your life. Like I remember, I know probably that whole album word for word.
Damn.
Train up. What would you say? What would you say?
I've never answered that question, and I still won't answer the question. Because my show, I make the rules on my show.
You the captain, man. You're captain. My fault,
on your show, I'll answer the question. But man, absolute pleasure to have you come through. I appreciate your time. Appreciate you speaking so honestly and candidly on the state of hip hop, on yourself and what you see for yourself. I'm excited for you to continue releasing music. But man, is there anything you wanted to plug? Anything you wanted to shout out before we wrap up?
Hey man, you know my name is Real Warm Winter. I have a EP coming up on 4/20, April 20th, and
so that'll be out. That'll be out by the time this drops. So you gotta check it. Like that's out right now.
That's out right now, then, motherfucker. Go get it. And I'm easy to find. I'm really easy to find. You can Google me. Just Google Real Warm Winter. And yeah, man. And after that, a lot of content coming after that. Like more than I probably ever released. I'm gonna start really pushing this shit. And some shit that I'm just gonna, just be little short form shit while I'm just rapping, like songs I'm not gonna release. And just, yeah, man, just show people that I can do this shit, So yeah, Roots of the Ocean on the way. Well, here now. What you
Here
talking
now.
about?
Fucking it's on the
Yeah.
way for me. For you, it's out right now. Real Warm Winter, one word. You heard it here. Man, thank you so much for your time and can't wait to see the reception of this project.
Yeah, it's gonna be great, man. It's gonna be good, man. It's just a start, man. It's just a start. And it's just gonna keep going and keep going and keep going. And then maybe, man, I could be in your country one day.
That'd be ideal, my friend. That'd be ideal.